I'm joined by Jason Wagenheim, who is the President and Chief Revenue Officer of Bustle. A disclosure note, I was actually on the board of Bustle for a time many years ago, and I'm a stockholder, so I need to get that out of the way.
You were my favorite board member, for the record.
I think I'm most people's favorite board member. All right, well, let's start broad. Let's talk about the advertising market in general. Obviously, Q2 of 2020 was a very hard period for the entire industry. What's the state of the state now?
It's remarkable, John. I mean, to be comped against the worst Q2 in advertising history, that was 2020, is a great place for a CRO to be this year. First half is up 50% over last first half. Our second quarter is up 110% over last Q2. So everything's come roaring back. There's been a lot of pent-up consumer demand. We saw that in July with all the travel and everything happening. People are shopping, all the major categories are firing on all cylinders. And
what would you say is the state of digital media? Obviously the biggest news in the past week has also been my alma mater, BuzzFeed, going public through a SPAC. Digital media went through a phase where there was a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement, then it's sort of a trough of disillusionment. Where are we now in the cycle of how people think about digital media?
I mean, it's back. We are in a period of consolidation. We'll continue to see it. The BuzzFeed complex news is very big. The big behemoths, the Disneys of the world, the Discoveries all rolling up together. We've always had this as part of our strategy. The M&A game has been, since we launched, part of our overall plan. We'll continue to see that consolidation. I think the death of the cookie apocalypse is a big thing that everybody's talking about. I think will be a boon for digital players like us, where premium content, premium publishing, premium audiences always mattered.
I agree with that, but why don't you state your case as to why you think the death of the cookie is good for endemic publishers?
We've never relied on advertisers who chase cookies blindly around the internet to find audiences. We've always relied on investing in premium content, finding engaged audiences, and putting advertisers in the middle of those messages. 75% of our revenue comes from branded content, not cookies, not programmatic. Programmatic is part of our game. I think there'll be downward pressure on the programmatic CPMs, but upward pressure on the PMPs, the private marketplace deals. So the more we can connect audiences with advertisers in environments that matter, which is what we do, which is what BuzzFeed does, which is what all of our competitors do very, very well, will take pressure off of Facebook and Google, the need for those platforms, and more on us.
Do you think they should be regulated? Do you think Google and Facebook and Apple have become too powerful? Is there too much of a stranglehold on the advertising? Are they using unfair advantages?
I think we're getting there. I think it's definitely something to talk about. What happened in Australia a few months ago with Facebook was a really big deal and a wake-up call for the world. There's way too much power that they have, and it has to be controlled on some level, but I'm not for regulating it, fully the way that, governments can tend to do. I'm still a capitalist at heart.
So 70% of your revenue is from branded content, you said. What percentage is from commerce, and how is commerce working now as part of being a digital publisher?
It's the next chapter for us. It's 15% of our revenue right now. Most of that comes through Amazon and driving hundreds of millions of dollars of Amazon sales that we make commission on. I believe distributed commerce is the next chapter for publishers like us. So the fact that we can create shops now on our sites to allow users to transact natively on our platforms and buy things at the point of inspiration. Magazines and publishers since the dawn of time have always curated great product for people to buy, but just not at that moment. DTC brands on Instagram are a great example of this. So if we can get people shopping on our sites, which we're doing now, I think that's a whole new chapter ahead for us.
And on branded content, what is the core product that you're making for advertisers now, and how is that different than what they can buy from Facebook or Google?
Facebook and Google don't make content for their advertisers, first of all. They basically just connect audiences to advertisers, but we create premium content in the form of video, articles, really great storytelling. We've invented some native storytelling formats. We call them card stories, allowing users to flip through content on mobile web the same way they do on Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok. And the engagement that we're seeing on these products that we're creating is like 9-10x what it is on typical branded content formats.
That's incredible. I have to ask you, there's been your CEO and chairman, Brian Goldberg, has been very outspoken that he is going public via a SPAC, that BDG will go public via a SPAC. What is the state of that, and what can you tell us beyond what Brian has already said?
I can't say much more than what Brian has said, but he is very enthusiastic and impatient about his desire to take this company forward, as we've shown with the momentum over the years. A SPAC is a great vehicle for us to consider, and of course we're considering it. An IPO, I think, could be in our future. But we want to do it right. Right now we're focused on running a really healthy, profitable digital media company. We want to be the other. Digital media can be healthy and vibrant and successful and profitable in this day and age, and we're proving that.
How much consolidation does there need to be? I mean, we've seen consolidation happen in the streaming space already with the Discovery deal and the like. We've seen BuzzFeed, as we talked about earlier, rolling up with Complex. Will there be 3 or 4 digital media players? How concentrated do you think it'll get?
I think so. I think there'll probably be maybe 4 or 5. It's really hard to be a $20, $30, $40 million publisher right now. You know, we've taken this business from 25 million to 125 million in the last 4.5 years. We have a path to get to 500 million in the next 3, and our track record has proven that we can get there. So I think the consolidation will continue. The idea of digital media being underpinned by a shared infrastructure that operates with independent editorial teams at the forefront is the way forward. And that's what we launched this company in 2013 upon, and that's what we're seeing through.
What are you most optimistic about for the remainder of the year?
That everything's coming back. Masks are coming off, which means lipstick and makeup will go on. People will be out traveling. I'm really looking forward to just getting back to some sense of consumerism and momentum again as spending goes.
Jason Wagenheim, president of BDG, formerly known as Bustle. Thank you so much for being here. A pleasure always talking to
Thanks, John. Good to see you.